also have a CAPS workshop entitled The Australian Didgeridoo and the Science of Sound, in which I talk to the students about Australian history, geological and human, and how the Aboriginal people of Australia, the natives that have lived there for thousands of years, are the oldest living people on the planet, and how these people who have been around for 60,000 years have passed down music and stories from one generation to the next all this time, showing how much the arts and music and creativity is a part of the human experience, and it is necessary for happiness. We talk about sound waves, their amplitude, their wavelength, their frequencies, how high frequency sound waves have a high pitch and low frequency sound waves have a low pitch. How our very throat is a didgeridoo with a little cork in it that moves up and down and that changes the amount of space available to the sound waves that are formed when the two sides of our larynx slap together to produce literally waves in the air. Exactly like waves in the ocean, only they're moving air molecules rather than water molecules. And when these waves in the air, which are called sound waves, hit your eardrum, which is literally a drum. So it's literally, these waves are just going crash, crash, crash. That's what creates the different pitches that we hear. We discuss just the magic that is sound, and how what's important in order to make music for instruments is that we're able to amplify that sound or make it larger, make the amplitude of the sound wave larger. And we do this by using hollow spaces. When a sound wave bounces back and forth inside of a hollow space, it gets larger. The same way that water that's sloshing back and forth in a bucket that you might have in the back of your car, to where the water actually sloshed right over the side. That's exactly what happens with sound waves. One of the oldest instruments known to man is the didgeridoo, and this is formed from a hollow tree trunk, hollowed out by termites in Australia. So I'll play the didgeridoo for them. And I'll make some funky sounds, which aren't always musical, and they get the most attention actually. And then I explain to the kids, you can use anything, any hollow thing to make an instrument. Most of them by now have built the little string instruments out of Kleenex boxes with rubber bands, but many of them haven't thought about just using a simple tube as a didgeridoo. So I show them some of my favorite tubes, because all the tubes don't work. It's just some of them are way too hard, especially for an amateur didgeridoo player like me. This one's seen its tough days with my kids and their friends, so I've had to tape it back together, but it still works very well. We've got lots of other ones in here. This is made out of bamboo, and Lord knows we have a lot of invasive bamboo all around Durham. And I just have a bunch of That was one of those funny sounds. These are just some of the handmade and homemade instruments that the kids will be invited to try out for themselves. The Science of Sound workshop can be extended to include a brief introduction to Aboriginal dot and line painting, including the participants doing their own paintings on recycled materials provided. For an extra $50 charge, the workshop can be extended over 2 days to include a total of 2 hours.